सारे प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल। मैं थोड़ी अपनी सोनिया वेस्ट। वी आर हियर फॉर अंकल विनीज टॉय ड्राइव, जिथे जी फैमिली है अपने पुत की याद इन्होंने टॉय ड्राइव करना है। तो अज उन्होंने जो सारे खिडौने इन्होंने कलैक्ट किए, अज साल्वेशन आर्मी आऊगी तो लैके जाऊगी। लो असी थानू अंदर लैके दिखा दे। Christmas time is all about giving back, and this family has done an amazing job year after year with Uncle Vinny's toy drive. We are talking to the parents of Vinny, who has inspired all of this behind us. You can see all of the toys collected here, and we're going to talk to the parents of Vinny. So, sat shri akal Uncle Ji.
Sat shri akal.
Yeah, मैं देखिया थोड़े पिछे किन्ने टॉयज तुसी इकट्ठे कीते। मैंने पता तुसी कई सालों तो कर रहे आ। हांजी। तो ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੇਟਾ ਵਿਨੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਵਿਨੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ।
विनी जी
मैनू पता थोड़ा जिहा औखा गल करनी, मैं तुहानू ਉਹਦੇ सवाल पूछ लैंदी आ। विनी मैनू पता लगे पे ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਪੂਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ?
4 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ 19 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ।
ਓਕੇ, ਸੋ 2019 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਯਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਾਲ ਆ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ?
ਅਸੀਂ 1 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਲਾਹ ਕੀਤੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ
टॉय ड्राइव।
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ओके।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਤੀਸਰਾ ਸਾਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ।
ओके, ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਲ ਵਧ ਜਾਂਦਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਯਾ, ਸੋ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕਾਤੇ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਾਤੇ? ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਚੁਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਾਤੇ ਚੁਣਿਆ?
ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਲਈ।
ਓਕੇ,
ਵੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ। ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਕਰ ਵੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਸੇਮ ਥਿੰਗ।
ਯਾ,
ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ਹਾਲੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀ।
ਓਕੇ। ਵਿਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਵਿਨੀ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਤਬੀਅਤ ਰਿਹਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਸਾਰੀ 35 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਪੂਰੇ ਹੋਏ। ਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਤਬੀਅਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਆਪਦੇ ਕਜ਼ਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਕਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ 5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੈਠ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਔਰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਡੇਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫੜਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਆਪਦੇ ਚਾਚੇ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੇਡਦਾ ਸੀ। ਹੁਣ ਈਵਨ ਜਦੋਂ 34 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੀ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਆਇਆ, ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ ਆਇਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੂਮ 'ਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਖੇਡਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ। ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਕਣਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਐਕਸਾਈਟਡ ਹੋਣਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਬੱਚਾ ਚੱਕਿਆ। ਬਾਕੀ ਟੋਏ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਲਾਈਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਮਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਆਪਦੇ ਨੈਫੀਓ ਨੀਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਟੋਏ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ।
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਟੋਏ ਦਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਫੇਵਰਿਟ ਟੋਏ ਸੀ?
ਕਾਰਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਲਾਈਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਕਾਰਾਂ
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਅਜੀਬ ਕਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਥੱਲੇ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗੀ? ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਓਕੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੇਵਰਿਟ ਟੋਏ ਸੀ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਰੱਖੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੋਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ
ਸਾਰੇ ਰੱਖੇ ਹੋਏ। ਤਾਂ ਸੋ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਸੀ?
ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਸੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਭਾਂਜੇ ਭਾਂਜੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਰੇ। ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਉਹਦਾ ਭਾਂਜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਇਤਕੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਖੇਡਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਕਿਹਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮਾਮ ਤਰਨਣੇ ਆਉਣਾ, ਕੀ ਖਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ? ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤਰਨਣੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਹਾਣ ਦਾ ਵਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਤਰਨ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵਾ? ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂ, ਮੇਰਾ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ। ਉਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ 70 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨੇ ਕੇਕ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਔਰ ਉਸਦੇ ਚਾਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਹਾ ਤੂੰ ਕੇਕ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਖੌਲ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਚਾਚਾ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਵੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ। ਬਹੁਤ ਫਰੈਂਡਲੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ।
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਨਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਹਰੇਕ ਦਿਨ 'ਚ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਨਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ
ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਨਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਯਾ, ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੇਕ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੀ ਵੀ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਵੀ 17 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਦ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਖੌਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਵੀ ਉਸਦੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਗਰਲਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਹੋਊ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਊ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਖੌਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਪਰ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ। ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਚਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਨੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਵਾ। ਔਰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਆਪਦੇ ਡੈਡੀ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਸੀਗਾ। ਬਹੁਤ ਹਰੇਕ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫਰੈਂਡਲੀ, ਹਰੇਕ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨੀ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ।
ਬਾਕੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਗਲਫਰਡ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੰਪ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਕੱਲਾ, ਮੇਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੇਕ ਕੱਟਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਸੀ। ਜੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਗੁੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੀ। ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੇਕ ਕੱਟਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਸੋ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੋੜਵੰਦ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨੀ, ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਗਰੀਬ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸ ਕੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ।
ਸੋ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਹੈ ਵਿਨੀ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ।
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਜ਼ਨ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਇਹਦੀਆਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਕਜ਼ਨਸ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਐਂਡ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਜ਼ਨ ਲਾ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਟੋਏ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਇਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ
ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਸਰੀਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ।
ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਕਸਪੋਰਟ ਵੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਭਾਂਜੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ।
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟੋਏ ਮਿਲਣੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਮੰਗ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ 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 ਬਹੁਤ।
ਜਦੋਂ ਵਿਨੀ ਛੋਟਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕੀ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋ ਕੇ?
Businessman, always businessman, because he like to tour. He want to go out, travel.
Okay.
ਬਹੁਤ ਨਾ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕਰਨਾ। ਉਹਨੇ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਟੈਰੀਟੋਰੀ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੇਜਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਸੈਮਸੰਗ ਦਾ ਉਹ 2 ਸਾਲ।
Okay.
ਅਲਬਰਟਾ, ਸਸਕੈਚਨ, BC।
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੇਲਸਮੈਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ।
ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ। ਨਵੇਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਐਕਸਾਈਟਡ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਵਾਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਬਣਾਇਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਕਫੀਤ ਕੱਢੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ।
ਜਦੋਂ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੁਰਿਆ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵਿੰਨੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਫੋਨ 'ਚ ਇੰਨੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮਾਮ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇੰਨੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਤੇਰੇ 400 ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਆ ਫੋਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਫੋਨ ਸੇਵ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਵੀ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਵੀ 2-4 ਫਰੈਂਡ ਰੱਖ ਤੂੰ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨੋ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ? ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਯਾਰ।
ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਲੰਬੀ ਹੋਗੀ, ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੇਬੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਨੀ ਲੰਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਮ ਸਾਰੇ ਲਈ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ।
ਦੇਖੋ ਫੋਨ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ। ਜੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਬੈਕ ਐਂਡ ਫੋਰਥ ਬਸ ਤੁਰਾ ਹੀ ਫਿਰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ।
ਟੈਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਦਾ
ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਦੀ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨੇ ਤੁਰਾ ਹੀ ਫਰੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ, ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ।
ਰੌਣਕੀ ਸੀ
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਬਈ ਔਖਾ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਤੋਰਨ, ਪਰ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਰਾਜੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ ਵਾ। ਕੋਈ ਉਹਨੇ ਐ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਪੈਸਾ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਨਾ ਵਾ। ਬਸ ਆਪਦਾ ਰਾਜੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ ਵਾ। ਵਧੀਆ ਚ ਖਾਣਾ, ਵਧੀਆ ਪਾਉਣਾ, ਹੈਪੀ ਲਾਈਫ
ਸੀਗੀ।
ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇਸ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤੋਂ, ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦਾਸ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਟ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖਾ ਆ, ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋਣ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਵਾ।
ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਟੋਏ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸੋ ਐਵਰੀ ਈਅਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਸੋ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਈਅਰ ਵੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ? ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ?
ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰੋ। ਲਾਈਫ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ $1 ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹਨਾ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਨਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਗਰੀਬ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਰੀਬ ਸੀਗੀ, ਮੇਰੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਟਵਾਏ ਡਿਲੀਵਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਲਵੇਸ਼ਨ ਆਰਮੀ ਵਾਲੇ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਵੀ ਚਲੋ ਟਵਾਏ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦਾ ਈਵਨ ਜੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲਿਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਟਵਾਏ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਚਿੰਦੇ ਆ। 2 ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਬੇਟੀਆਂ ਨੇ, 2 ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਭਾਣਜੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਵਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਾਕੀ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੇਟਾ ਵਾ ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਘਰੇ ਤੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹੀਏ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਣੇ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ
ਵੈਰੀ ਗੁੱਡ ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਆ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਨੀ ਲਈ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਾਹਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਰੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਮਸ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ We are talking to the sisters of Vinny. Uncle Vinny's toy drive is your idea and your family's together, but you guys are organizing this and making this happen every year in honor of your brother. So welcome, Pinder and Seema.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's a kind of a happy thing that you're doing, but at the heart of it, it's very difficult because I know I saw the emotion with your parents, and I can only imagine how this makes you feel. So how are you?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. You've done an amazing job with all the toys behind you, and you're doing this every single year. So.
Yeah.
Pinder, what do you want to say about Vinny and the initiative that you guys are taking? We'll start with you.
Just, a jolly, generous, kind soul. He would give the shirt off his back for anyone. Yeah. And pretty much did in a roundabout way, right? And he always wanted the joy and the happiness on his nieces and nephews' faces every Christmas and, wanting to get the biggest, baddest toy. And that's how the toy drive came to be because we're sitting there one day and I'm like, feeling sorry for yourself and like, how am I going to get through the holidays? Because his birthday fell on November 29th and then he passed on December 11th.
Okay.
So
really close to Christmas time.
Yeah. So it became a really, really hard time. And the first year we went and we gave, little hampers to homeless and it just wasn't fulfilling enough.
Right.
And then the second year, we got to thinking and I'm like, there's gotta be something put this grief into positivity somehow, right? Let's try to help someone and carry on his legacy. And it was like a ton of bricks that hit me. I was like, oh my God, toy drive, what the heck? And we put it together in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
We came up with the idea end of October, November 11th, our first donation bins hit the community. And we came, I think it was 1,650 toys that very first year.
Wow, that's quite successful.
Yeah, and with 2 weeks of planning.
And there's so much competition for toy drives at this time of year. So for you guys to be so successful right off the bat.
Yeah. And we are fortunate that our South Asian community is so generous. Not that it's just the South Asians that are giving. We have so many other communities giving. Our employers are so generous, and whether it be mine or hers or my cousins, it's been so heartwarming to see how generous our community is, and in the mainstream. And this year we had the opportunity to go and volunteer at the toy shop with Salvation Army.
Okay.
So a little bit about them. Each child that comes through the door, or each family that comes through the door, each child gets a large toy, a small toy, a stuffy, a book, and 3 stocking stuffers.
Wow.
So it's not a small, pamper they're getting, right? So my cousin and I, we went and we volunteered with them, and it was so fulfilling. Definitely will do it again. And there one woman stands out. She had 5 children, and we offered her this larger toy, which meant that the 3 older kids wouldn't get their large toy.
Right.
She just broke down in tears.
Oh.
It felt so good to be able to make such an impact on someone's family. And that's exactly what Vinny would have wanted, and that would have been his legacy. So this is how we're going to carry it on.
Right. Well, judging from what your parents said as well, he didn't discriminate against, age or anything. He was just like, if somebody needs him, he's there. And you guys are doing that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what is your fondest memory of Vinny? I know there's probably many, and I've put you on the spot.
Yeah,
but
there's probably so many with Vinny.
One that you can share.
I was going to say the one I can share. Actually, when we had just moved into Surrey, he had come by our house because Mom said, hey, it's Diwali, go drop off some sweets.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a box of sweets to drop off.
Okay.
But, we like to celebrate.
Oh, dear.
So my husband and him just sat down to have a drink.
Yeah.
And afterwards it was like, hey, just hang out longer. So he's like, okay, let me go get mom. And I just remember spending my Diwali with him in my new home, which was my first year. And I think the night ended at like 1:30, and I was like, it's a work night. So I'm driving him home, dropping him off. I think that was probably closer to like, you know, it was like a one-on-one, and my husband and my son, and I don't know, I think it was just nice.
Yeah, and the message of Diwali, just that positivity and that love.
Exactly.
And that night sounds like it's just the poetic.
Just, and you know, the sparklers, and, you know, my son was only 4. So.
Yeah. And these memories that you have, I mean, he didn't know he was going to pass away. No one knew. It was a surprise to all of you. Yet he jam-packed everything into his short, 35 years and made the most of every day, sounding, sounds like from your family.
Yeah. No, it seemed like everything, like, it was like all these memories just getting built, even like from cutting his cake, the last cake we cut with him too. It was just kind of like last minute thing we got together. Christmas 2018, we had our cousins, and it was like a big jam-packed Christmas.
And it wasn't planned originally.
It wasn't like a big planned one. It was like the cousins are coming, the kids are coming. Some of his friends even came that he invited. It was all of us. It was like a big family and friends that he wanted kind of thing. And we had all just come together. And that was our last big Christmas with him in 2018.
Yeah. Wow. And Thanksgiving 2019, we ended up like 5-minute plan again, last minute. And everybody ended up at my house, and we're having Thanksgiving at my house. And I'm like, great. Right. But he truly lived by YOLO. That was his thing. Hashtag YOLO. You only live once.
That's right.
And, seize the moment. And that was his thing. And that's what we're trying to instill in our children, and live by that now as well. And, try to make that effort.
So during all of this time that you're, getting toys for kids, in the last 3 years, in that time, have you had a moment with Vinny? Just thinking of him, maybe kind of talking to him in your own space?
Oh, yeah. Every moment.
Do you feel his presence?
Yeah. And we talk about it.
Something he would have loved.
Yeah. And there's certain things, like a certain toy will be like, oh my gosh, like this has got Vinny written all over it. And I think every year we've had like a toy that really signifies him.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
year, I think it's the Ninja Turtles.
I was going to say the Ninja Turtles.
Right? They've made a comeback. And so every year there's, not last year, the first year we had a Speak and Spell, and that was a toy that we grew up on. And I'm like, how has that come back 30, 40 years later, right? Yeah. So every year there is something. There's also like presence where we feel the presence. Well, I do anyways. The day we went and volunteered at Salvation Army, it was a gloomy day. Yeah. And we walk out and the sun's out and it's bright, and I'm like, this is it. There's just those little things. And there's other things where, last year we tried to celebrate his birthday. So every year on November 29th, we try to do something. Yeah. That'll keep each of us busy. And this year we didn't get to do it together, but each of us had our own way of doing something that reminded us of him.
That's so nice.
And my cousin and I, we went and volunteered at Salvation Army that day. And that last year, we decided that we would have something at Guildford Station Pub. Oh, that was his second home.
Yep.
Yeah.
He had adopted an older gentleman there where he would buy Christmas toys and have birthday cake for him and with his friends. Okay. And we had the freak snowstorm.
When nobody could drive, everything was shut down.
I know what you're talking about.
Right, and my dad
he couldn't even make it. And my dad, dad didn't make it either.
Yeah, dad couldn't get there until 9:30, and I'm like, well, this ain't gonna work, right? Yeah. So there's always something that something works, something doesn't. Right. I think we'll find something that works every year, and maybe it won't. But in terms of his presence, definitely felt.
I think everyone's got their own way to feel his presence, whether it's driving or a song. I think I spent my 29th, I think I listened to a song probably that what I just think would just made me think of him more kind of thing. Or when you're picking up toys, you put on songs or some old school rap, Eazy-E or something that he would be listening to. But, songs that he would be listening to, and that's just everyone's different way, I guess.
Yeah, and grief is something that can eat you alive, and then you just don't have that desire to continue your normal life. And nothing's ever really normal after something so tragic. Yeah. But when I was talking to your mom, I saw that she was obviously sad, but she was also quite proud of the fact that you guys are doing this in his name. Yeah. And then off camera we were talking, and you'd mentioned that you can tell that she's kind of getting more involved and almost healing in a way through this. Yeah. Can you talk a bit about grief and healing in a process like this, either of you?
I'll let her do it. I'm not.
The purpose of the toy drive was to help us heal and help us get through the next, the Christmas holidays and the season, really. So with the toys, every year we started off our goal the first year. I remember having a conversation with my dad in my family room saying, okay, Dad, I think we can do 100 toys. We can do 100 toys. He's like, nope. 200 ho jane hain. 200 ho jane hain. I'm like, okay, fine. Je 200 na hoy, we'll put in the rest.
Yeah.
And we ended up with 1650.
Wow.
Right. So like our goals were itty bitty and, but in terms of healing, like it really helps us get through the last little bit of the year.
Yeah.
Just watching the toys pile up in this room. Every day someone drops off a toy, or I'll get a phone call saying so-and-so e-transferred $50. Can you go buy toys on their behalf? Or so-and-so e-transferred $100. So-and-so transferred, $20. There's no small amount and there's no large amount. And just, they're going out and looking at toys. And it's not even a holiday thing anymore for us. You're feeling down, I'm feeling down. And if I'm feeling down in the summer, I pull out my laptop and I start planning the next year's toy drive.
Right.
It just brings
it's just a positive spin on a negative feeling. You can turn it into something wonderful for so many kids.
And then, like with mom and dad, I think they go out and they kind of look at toys and I'm like, I'm going to get that one. Or this one's on sale today. Why don't I get 5 of these kind of thing, right? Yeah. But it just ends up being like a year-long journey. Like we're going to pick up toys as well. So or there's a toy that reminds us of him. And we're like, okay, I'm going to grab this, right? And, like every little thing, like you see us, we're all wearing plaid. Yeah. Like that was his thing. He loved a red plaid shirt. Okay. And that just kind of fell into the theme of it, really, right?
It's so Vinny.
Yeah, it's so Vinny. And that's what we say, like, anything that we can do, and we're trying to, like, our hashtag is making Vinny proud.
Yeah, and you are.
And we're really, really working on it, right? Yeah. So, and I hope we are, right? Like, we do get a little glimpse of him here and there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So if there's something that you want to tell our viewers, I know that the toy drive for this year is done, but now we are getting some information about the toy drive. So if you want to tell us a little bit about how people can donate or looking forward to next year, whatever you want to tell our viewers, you can just look right in that camera there and just speak directly to them.
Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more information about next year's toy drive. We do start planning early in September. If your business or your employer is willing to have a donation bin and encourage staff and colleagues to donate, all our contact information is on Instagram and Facebook. Feel free to DM us at any time of the year. We're looking at that constantly. We want to say thank you to the entire community, BC, Surrey, Abbotsford, Brampton, Ontario. Thank you so much for making this a success and helping us heal. Thank you.
I would say enjoy every day. Live life to your fullest. That's what Vinny did. And I don't know, just give where you can, and I don't know how to say, be happy. Be happy, live life to the fullest. I don't know.
Right. And if you want to have a drink this Christmas season, head to the Guildford Station Cup.
For sure.
A cheers to Vinny.
Yeah.
Cheers to Vinny.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're talking to Jamie and Sim. They are family members of Vinny. They are cousins, and this family is wonderful, and it's such a pleasure to talk to both of you.
Thank you.
You were telling me off camera about your childhood and fond memories of Vinny and the family. Share a little bit about that.
So we, typical Punjabi families, we grew up we all had corner stores. So we had a gas station, and my Masi guys had a corner store.
Okay.
So summer holidays, we would get together, but we would be at either our Masi's house or they would be at our house. Okay. But at the same time, we would still have to work. So it was like we had fun together, but then we'd also be working. And then we just had so many fun stories. Like we would have like with slushy, like the slush machine.
That's right.
We would have like ice fights, and we would just when our Masi guys weren't around.
Of course.
So many fond memories. And then afterwards, we would always have late nights watching TV and watching movies,
sneaking downstairs
to get candy.
Right.
And then getting in trouble from our bead that it's too late. You guys got to go to bed because you guys got to get up in the morning. But Vinny was our baby cousin, so. Okay. We weren't that many years apart, but he always was. I don't know. He just was like my Masti says, like a Raja. He lived and breathed that.
Okay.
He always made me smile and laugh. And then just so many fond memories as kids. And then as adults, we used to go to parties together. Like we used to, hang out together. He was always lifting us up.
Right.
But the last year we had Christmas with him was a very important one for us because we had lost our dad just a couple of months before that.
Okay.
And but that Christmas was so important to us. And his mission for that Christmas, he couldn't find a star. So the star was a big deal.
For the top of the tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he needed to get a star. And he went out that night and he finally got a star for the tree because I guess Pinder didn't decorate the tree the way he wanted it.
I don't think she came over to decorate at all.
So she does it all.
Right.
But that star will always be a fond memory of him.
Okay.
And I think he was wearing plaid that day. So
Yes.
plaid keeps us, he was very fashion forward. So
Is that
like, his outfits were always something that we remember. But that Christmas was very important to us.
To be honest with you, when I was doing my research, just kind of figure out the family and what's happening and stuff, I saw photos of Vinny.
Yeah.
And I had to really look at them and think, are these actually stock images or is this a real person? Because he was so photogenic.
Yes. And very pretty. Like
Yeah.
he was a good looking guy. Like he had his hair you couldn't touch.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, our dad used to put so much gel on in his hair. And when my dad would pretend to touch his hair, he's like, no, not the hair. Don't touch the hair. Don't touch the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm shopping at Old Navy, but he was like Holt Renfrew.
Right.
Just anything he wore, he just looked so good.
Right.
But his smile,
Yeah.
he loved to dance. And
His giggle.
And he had a giggle that we don't even need to hear it, but we can hear it in our hearts every time we think of him. His giggle, he had dimples. But we didn't just lose a family member, we lost a little brother.
Yeah.
But like we said, Christmas was important to him, and we just want to give back to our community, and like we couldn't do it without the support of our local businesses, family, friends, and really to be honest, this has kept our family really connected.
Yeah.
I've been with my Mussy and Bead guys probably every year now, and maybe some Christmases we weren't together, but we're here every year. More than once, like we're here from November on and we're here consistently. Like we're just walking in. Like Roxy,
Yes.
their dog doesn't even bark at us anymore. We just walk in.
Yeah.
But it's really connected our families together.
It's a lovely thing because sometimes when tragedy happens, families grow apart.
Yeah.
And especially when someone's busy in their own life, they don't have time to share anything, let alone such a big project like this. So, and I saw the closeness. As soon as I walked in, I saw everyone. I couldn't tell who was actually that lived here and didn't live here.
Right.
Everyone just seems like it's the same purpose. It's that smile of Vinny's, that laugh. He's the star. Like you can feel that as you walk into this house.
Our like Vinny's parents have always been second parents to us. So we've always been very comforted here, but it feels like home to us.
Yeah.
But we're just so happy we can try to make him happy.
Yeah.
He's up there, I still
He's shining
I just
down.
feel like he's just just on some clouds, and he's just like, this is me. This is what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Well, the way you've described him with his dimples and his smile.
Yeah.
And he's giggling.
Yes.
He's probably so proud
He's like,
of
this is
of
all
you.
about me. Is what he's proud of. And center of the attention.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to share, like a couple of maybe stories or?
Growing up, he would, like my sister said, he would show up, and me being older than the other four, he would show up and he'd be with his backpack or bag or whatever, and I would say, "Oh God, how many days are you staying now?" Right? Because he would get into mischief with my brother and my
And you were
sisters.
older, so you had to keep them in line.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, "Oh God, when are you leaving?" Just those kind of things, and then even saying that shortly in the evening or whatever, we'd sit around the dining table and we would play Bubby.
Oh
So
my goodness, yeah.
My most memorable memory of him is he would be losing.
Oh.
And he would be losing, but he would think he's winning. So he would go to my mom. He's like, Auntie, I'm Bubby. 10 times. I became puppy 10 times. And my mom would say, okay, Vinny. And we would all be laughing at him.
Yeah.
But he was so proud that he's winning.
Yeah.
But he's actually losing the game, right? And everybody would pick on him because he was younger.
Yeah.
And just those kind of memories. I mean, I didn't share a lot with them, being a little bit older than him. But him coming over, I'd be like, oh, God, how many days are you staying? When are you leaving, right?
Yeah. You got to observe the positivity.
Of him
thinking, even though he's losing,
he's
like, I'm winning. And you're like, okay.
As a little boy, that smile he had, that giggle, that he was just so proud of himself that he's winning. And my other memory, I do remember him walking into our backyard at one of my boys' birthday parties.
Okay.
And he's got this huge Nerf gun straight from Toys R Us. I think the price tag was still on there. It was probably still in the bag. I don't remember. But that's my last memory of him making one of the kids happy. Like in the family, right? That I've personally witnessed. And just this huge Nerf gun. And I just looked at him and I said, really? Really? This is what you're going to get the kid? Like, can't you get him a responsible toy?
Yeah,
And
like
it
a
was
book or
loud.
something.
Yeah, it was loud. It was one of those that probably required 1 million batteries or whatever have you. But no, the loudest and the biggest toy he'd have to walk in with, right?
The toys that you're, as a parent, you wouldn't buy your kids.
Right, like drum sets and guns. Yeah,
he bought them for us.
Yeah, and so he did that with our boys and like all of our boys. And we always said, he's like, I'm never going to be old. I'm always going to be young.
Yeah.
These kids are going to be like, you know, I'm going to take them to their first, like, I'm going to get them their first drink. I'm going to get, and so like my son's 17 now and I'm like, you know, he's not going to get to have that. There's so many things that we're going to miss, but yeah.
But like we say, life goes on and just live life to the fullest. That's all. Every day counts.
Absolutely.
And make it happy.
Yeah. And you're paying it forward. I mean, your son can have that drink and just know that Vinny wanted him to have that drink.
Yeah, so he's really proud about it. Yeah, so like, you know, their school is going to hopefully get a little bit more active with it. So
yeah. It's wonderful what you're doing. Thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
We were talking to Tara. She is the niece of Vinny, and she's been working really hard alongside her family to make this toy drive a success. What message did you want to give to the people that are watching? Maybe a Christmas message or something to your Uncle Vinny?
Merry Christmas. We're doing this for you, Vinny Oma.
We are talking to the nephew of Vinny. Dilsher, how are you?
Good.
Tell me, what does this mean to you, this toy drive? What does it mean to you to be part of this?
Good.
What message did you want to give our viewers and also maybe to Uncle Vinny about what you've done here today?
It's pretty fun. Merry Christmas, everyone.
We're talking to Tanisha. Tanisha, what do you call Vinny?
Vinny Chacha.
So Vinny is your chachaji.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about this toy drive that you guys have done a remarkable job. How does this make you feel?
Very good. I'm able to just be around my family more and I'm able to help. Yeah.
And the community?
Yeah.
Tanisha, what did you want to say to the people that are watching?
Merry Christmas, everyone, and we're doing this for you, Vinny Chacha.
We were talking to Peter and Tamara from the Salvation Army. What are you doing here today? I've got this sign behind me that says Toy Drive. How are you affiliated with this?
So I'm affiliated because I'm the Corps Officer at Boundless Vancouver. And so as the Corps Officer, I run and lead the team and the entire ministry for Vancouver. And so today we are here with Uncle Vinny's Toy Drive, picking up the toys that are going to impact hundreds of families in Vancouver this Christmas season.
Wonderful. Peter, tell me a bit about the process when someone brings toys to the Salvation Army for donation. How does that work?
So when a family in need come to the Salvation Army here in Vancouver, what they will do is we'll do a basic intake with them, access what are their needs, and then they will walk through a toy shop where they can choose from the toys that we have collected through toy drives like Uncle Vinny's Toy Drive. And they will go through the shop and receive not just a toy, but multiple toys and also some gift cards that will help them to have a Christmas meal on the 25th of December.
That's wonderful. Leaving nobody out. Tamara, what does it feel like when you see families come and use this service for their families? It's so expensive for everyone. People can't afford things for their kids, and they want to be able to provide for them.
Honestly, it's probably one of the most life-giving things that I get to be a part of, is just giving back to the community that we are serving. I personally love my community, and I want to see everybody have the best Christmas they can have. And I know my team agrees with me. It warms our heart. We would rather give and receive nothing ourselves than to hold it all back.
Very well said. So Salvation Army, I mean, for those of our viewers that are watching and didn't know that this actually is something that you do, now you know. How can people get involved in this type of a thing and maybe volunteer with Salvation Army or donate, whatever you can tell us to help Salvation Army?
Well, there are many ways you can help. So if you want to still donate toys, it is not too late. We are accepting toys at the Toys R Us in Broadway in Vancouver until December 23rd. So please go by, shop at Toys R Us, or give us a call, email us, and we would love to come and pick up any toys you've collected at home or with your families. You can also give at any of our kettle locations. If you see those red kettles and the bells ringing, all of the money goes right back into the community, and part of that is our toy shop, gift cards, food for those in need. So there are many ways. Email us, call us. We are eager to hear from you.
Very good. So all of the money that is collected goes right to the community.
100% of the kettle money is community family services. You do know the Salvation Army is also a church, but the kettle money is strictly back into the community.
Wonderful. So you can wish the community a Merry Christmas or whatever you'd like to say. One final word from you, and then I'll talk to you, Peter, as well.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. I know that it has been a challenging year with inflation, but generosity has never been higher. So thank you to everybody who has donated. Merry Christmas.
And Peter, your well wishes to the community that's watching.
Your generous help will help us to face the 20% increase in demand in spite of the 15% decrease in donations that we have been seeing. So give it a big push this last few days. We wish you a great Merry Christmas, and you can always come to see our website at salvationarmyvancouver.com and salvationarmy.ca. Thank you.
Very good. You still have time. December 23rd, you can still donate. Thank you so much. So that's it for today's program. I hope that all of you get out there and donate any way that you can, whether it's by the 23rd as you can donate a toy, or if it's monetary, anything you can do to help your community with the Salvation Army or otherwise, please give this holiday season and throughout the year to those that are less fortunate. I'm your host, Sonia West. Thank you for watching.